Okay, Reading Railroad is an organization.
Did you say Reading Railroad? We're playing Monopoly now. Do not pass go, do not collect $200.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Quick Drag. It's a special edition because we are right here in Canada's Drag Race workroom. Can you believe it? It's not a green screen. We're really there.
It's true.
And I'm here with our special guest drag artist co-host of the week from Toronto, Ontario. It's Deena Dazeem.
Hi.
So today we're going to be talking about episode 8 of Canada's Drag Race. Are you ready to do it?
I'm excited. It was a great episode.
It was an amazing episode, so let's get right into it. The episode starts out with the girls coming into the workroom after Ilona's elimination. Sad, but it felt like it was her time, I thought.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that it was her time to go home, but it always still sucks, especially when everybody is really talented and has like their own unique point of view that they're bringing.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks to like lose an element of that.
True, but I'm very excited about our top 5.
Yes.
I feel like it's a very, very strong group.
For sure. Well, I thought the thing that was interesting was that Scarlet in a confessional was kind of like, I haven't won, but that's okay. And I couldn't tell whether she was telling us that it was okay or whether she was telling herself that it was okay.
Even if that's what you need to do, I think that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
Sometimes you have to pump your own self up.
For sure.
But I agree, when she was saying that, I was like, do you believe this?
Right.
Or are you saying this in the hopes that you can make yourself believe it?
Well, exactly. And it feels like it maybe worked over the episode.
Foreshadowing. The girls talk a little bit about whether or not Priyanka should be the next to go based on report cards of the girls that are left.
Yeah, and being in the bottom 2 twice is never a good place to be.
It always seems like if you end up in the bottom a 3rd time, usually at that point it's kind of your time to go, and that's been shown a couple times this season even with Tainomi and Ilona.
Yeah, exactly.
It is a new day in the workroom, and the girls are talking about counting their wins, and they all go through it, and the last one to speak is Bobo, who currently has not a win.
No, not one.
The comparing of report cards is cute, but the truth is it's still, I feel like, anyone's game.
Yeah, I was just saying that this week, that like Drag Race feels like one of the few reality shows that are like this, where you can win last week and go home this week.
100%.
You know, it really is based on like, what do you bring to this challenge this week? So as much as they're like, yeah, this is what I won, this is what I won, so what? Like
None of that matters,
let's start
because you're
again
about
today.
to go into a new thing.
Yeah.
Jeffrey comes into the workroom and introduces the mini challenge, which is going to be the puppet challenge.
I love the puppet challenge.
It is a very fun one. There's a lot of opportunity for really entertaining moments with this one.
Now that they've gotten to know each other a little bit, the reads are better. Because I think the reading challenge always happens really early, and so the reads always feel kind of vague. Whereas by the time you get to the puppet challenge, people have real tea to spill. As a person who loves a puppet moment, it's true.
I have a puppet of Deena Dazeem! Can you imagine? What did you think about the mini challenge? Was there anybody that stood out for you or any bits that tickled your fancy?
For sure. I think for the most part, everyone was funny. I think that the challenge works best for people who are good with one-liners. There was like a level of kind of cattiness that was already going on, and I was curious to see how that would play out. Jimbo with Scarlet was, for me, the funniest one. The bit with the filler was hilarious. Also really appreciated that Scarlet's reaction was like, not wrong.
You got me, gal.
Like,
yeah.
it's correct. Everybody had one thing, but Jimbo seemed to have like everything that came out of their mouth.
I think for me, my favorite was Lemon, because she had a couple zingers.
Yes.
Oh, what are you wearing? This is the reveal I had during Snatch Game. I don't remember you having a reveal during Snatch Game. Yeah, I revealed that I'm terrible at the competition or whatever. It was just so clever and like just enough setup that it was quick and punchy and funny.
Absolutely.
And then Scarlet won.
Yeah, that was a thing that happened.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel like that was the right or second or third choice?
I didn't agree with that. I don't think that she did a bad job, but there weren't the same number of like punches and one-liners. I didn't laugh very hard. I wasn't like, oh, that was a zinger.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like,
you did
that. Okay, cool, like you won something and hopefully that'll like boost your spirits, but that's because that's the kind of nice person I am.
So we move on to the Maxi Challenge,
Yeah.
which is a makeover challenge. We love a makeover challenge, always
It's
an
my
exciting
favorite one.
And this one is very exciting because they are making over new immigrants to Canada who were brought here as part of Rainbow Railroad, which is an amazing organization that takes people from countries where it's not safe to be LGBT and gives them basically a new life in a new place.
Yeah. I mean, the work that they do is really incredible, and I think that the Makeover episode is always a feel-good episode, but I think that there was definitely that extra layer in this particular version of it.
For winning the mini challenge, Scarlet Bobo gets to decide on the pairings with the queens and the recipients of the makeover.
It definitely is a place where you could totally screw over a competitor. It didn't feel like Scarlet did that. The other thing that I thought was so cute was the husbands.
Yes!
I was like, husbands! Oh my god, I love it!
I know.
What a cute date night.
As the girls are starting to get their new drag daughter, testing out things like heels and looking at outfits and such. Thoughts?
When Scarlet was like, well, what kind of drag queen do you think you are? And the response was, well, what kind of drag is out there? And I loved that reply. Actually, most people don't know.
Right.
You know, they don't understand what the options are, which are pretty limitless. So I thought it was like this really lovely question.
I also like when Jimbo asked Aka if he's ever been a slutty demon before. And I mean, what an aesthetic.
Right. I also love that there was no option for the answer to be no.
Right. Also the moment where Elton, who is Pree's drag daughter, says that Priyanka is his favorite drag queen in Toronto. I was like, that's perfect.
It was definitely like a shortcut or like a shared language of like, okay, I don't have to explain my drag because you know what I do. The fact that you like what I do is even better.
Yeah. I also really like the moment where Rita's drag daughter, Rainer, during the walkthroughs, they were like, oh, your husband's in the room. And he was like, yes, he is, but he's competition now.
I love you, but I'm a win. Because it has been getting so catty recently. I did really enjoy the shift to being more of a camaraderie altogether and everybody kind of being in it to make it happen for these people.
The girls all get some time on stage to do a bit of a runway practice. Was there anything that stood out for you during this?
Nobody got an easy heel.
No.
Like,
well, I feel like Lemon's daughter had a bit of an easy heel.
Ish.
Comparatively to the rest.
But I feel like our top 5 were like, if I can walk in them, you can walk in them.
Yeah.
Like, this is what's happening.
Believing in the gays to put on a pair of heels and strut.
And they did.
So the girls come back into the room. It is elimination day, and they are getting ready for the runway with their drag daughters.
This is always so much fun, especially because none of them are facing the mirror. And so they turn around and they see this like drag version of themselves. It's just like such an exciting moment. And I love that we get to see those moments, especially given the fact that all these people have come to Canada for various reasons, like kind of how they ended up there, while getting put into these fabulous, crazy faces.
We've been seeing the contestants paint themselves every week. To see them paint new people is also a big challenge for sure. It's not the same painting somebody else as it is painting yourself. And Scarlet seems confident because she's been a makeup artist in the past and she's had to paint other people.
I loved the moments where they kind of turn around and saw themselves. I feel like that's the moment where everybody kind of went like, oh my god, okay, like I'm really
now
here.
I'm feeling the fantasy.
You really do have to transform into this person, and it's not like they have months of figuring out what their face is and who they are and who's my persona. It's like you have 2 days.
Yeah.
Now go on national TV.
These stories are meaningful and important to them, but they're also not necessarily the thing that defines them.
Yes.
And they've been able to kind of grow and change and move to a new place and start a new life and find happiness in who they are instead of changing themselves to be something that they're not.
Yeah. And I think it was Dennis as well who said, nobody moves to a new country because they want to. Like, this isn't like anybody's idea of a good time. So if you ever see a refugee, like, just give them a hand because they could use it. And I thought that like that was such an amazing kind of way to put it. It's not necessarily something that we hear a lot. Nobody wants to leave their family and their life
and their home
and their
country.
home. Yeah. So if they did, it's probably because it's really terrible there, and maybe you should just have a little bit of extra kindness for this person who finds themselves trying to figure out what their life looks like now.
We move to the runway where the extra special guest host is Amanda Brugel. She comes down the runway like giving it.
Yeah, she is not letting this moment pass her by, and I'm here for it.
She said to Brooke, under his eye, and Brooke was like, the last time I was under his eye, I got pink eye.
And then Amanda's reaction, which is, that wasn't in
the script. Which, that was maybe the funniest part of the show.
It was great.
The pairings come down the runway. Oh, it's time. First on the runway was Priyanka and her drag daughter, Electra.
I absolutely loved it. The colors were great, a lot of the same elements, but they weren't a perfect match.
Yeah.
And each one kind of complemented the other one. The makeup was great.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like you could really see that family resemblance.
Next on the runway was Scarlet Bobo and her drag daughter, Violet Bobo.
Scarlet was not wrong to be confident in her ability to paint that face because it was stunning and the hair was stunning. The outfits were Bobo, but they weren't special.
I feel like the outfits were something that Scarlet Bobo would wear, but it's something that she would wear in a club gig. It's not elevated to that kind of drag race runway sort of moment.
Violet was living their best fantasy, having an amazing time.
Even if it was super off the idea that Bobo had for it.
Yeah.
The energy was really infectious that she was giving.
Absolutely.
Next on the runway was Lemon and Lime.
I was underwhelmed to the point of concern.
Wow, okay. Are you writing your local MP?
No.
Okay.
Lemon made herself look better than her daughter.
Lemon knew how to paint Lemon, though.
Correct.
And I don't think she knew how to paint Lime.
No. I liked the idea. I liked the lemon and lime. I liked the kind of 20s flapper look. I love the two little wigs. The looks were really cool, but the face just really let us down. You can't just stencil your face onto somebody else and expect it to work the same way with their face.
Right. Next on the runway was Rita Vega and her new drag daughter, Terry Vega. It was a runway. They ran this way, that way. It wasn't my favorite, to be honest. It was clowny. I get that they were trying to tell a story. It didn't excite me.
I really liked the story that they were telling, and I actually liked the way that they were telling it. They were just trying to tell too much story.
And truthfully, when she told what the whole story was, lovely, but it's hard to understand the entire story when you're walking the runway for 30 seconds.
For sure.
And last on the runway was Jimbo and Bimbo. They looked the same, except Bimbo looked better.
Bimbo looked so much better.
Bimbo was serving.
Having the best time.
They were living their best life on that stage.
Absolutely. They definitely looked like they went together, and it looked like they were having a good time.
They looked more like sisters or like siblings than mother and daughter, but it was like so cohesive. They looked the same.
They brought that really solid energy.
So we move on to critiques, and the first to be critiqued are Priyanka and Electra. I thought the outfits were stunning, that it was cohesive between them, that they played off each other well, that their energy was really good on the runway.
Excellent judging, I agree.
Well done, judges. For the first time this season, welcome to the competition. Next to be critiqued were Lemon and Lime.
I like that everybody kind of danced around it until finally somebody was like,
She look old.
And then everybody was like, I agree.
They like the 1920s thing, they like the pops of colors,
right.
But they didn't love that face, though.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about it. Now they critique the Bobo girls.
I thought that they didn't have much to say other than like, looks great.
Great energy. They said great energy on the runway, and they didn't even care that Violet Bobo was giving a little bit more mask energy. That didn't bother them.
Which was great, because we agreed.
Yeah. Also, Scarlet Bobo looks there now. Next being critiqued was Jimbo. I thought it was weird that they were like, it was too sexy.
Yeah, what was that about?
I don't know.
I didn't get why they were upset about that at all.
Maybe because they were supposed to be mother and daughter, so that would be weird.
I thought that that was definitely pulling at strings a little bit.
The last to be critiqued are Rita and Terry Vega. They were not featuring it, I wouldn't say. They said that there was a resemblance.
But they didn't love the story.
That was the point where Rita explained it, and they were like, that's lovely, but we didn't get all of that.
Like, they're not wrong, but they're like a little wrong. For me. In my opinion, which is correct.
In my opinion, you're wrong. And this is my show, so... So it turns out you're wrong.
Okay, well, fine.
During Untucked, Rita says, I know I'm gonna be lip syncing. It is what it is, I'm gonna turn it out.
Yeah, I'm not nervous about it, because, like, this is the job.
The girls come back out on the stage, and the judges reveal a few things. First of all, that Priyanka is the winner of this week's challenge.
Which was not a surprise.
But what was a surprise was the prize, which was a $10,000 donation in her name to Rainbow Railroad, which is enough to bring one person from
somewhere.
their country. To...
I was like almost in tears. Such a good prize. And like I love the fact that like it didn't matter who won, Rainbow Railroad was gonna get $10,000.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Both Jimbo and Scarlet are safe.
Which, you know, at this point is all good.
Hey, if it means you're getting to top 4, safe is fine.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the bottom 2 are Rita, Vega, and Lemon. They have been asked to prepare a lip sync to Alanis Morissette's You Oughta Know.
Oh, so good.
What did you think of the lip sync?
I thought the lip sync was the perfect dichotomy of do the tricks and tell the story. When Lemon went up into the handstand and then the straddle and then flipped over, crazy pants. Whereas Rita felt very much like she was focused on the energy of the song and telling that story.
It was so confident and present, and she seemed unbothered by Lemon.
Absolutely.
Whatever Lemon was doing wasn't her
you.
business.
Yeah.
And she was just fully focused on doing her own thing, feeling it, selling it to the judges.
Yeah.
She moved around the stage. She used a
all
lot
the
of the
space,
stage.
yeah.
For this one, it definitely required more of the storytelling, more of the emoting, and Rita gave that. And it worked out for her in the end because the winner of the lip sync is Rita Vega. She stays in the competition. Shantae, you stay.
So
and
good.
unfortunately for Lemon, it is Sashay away. So that brings us to the end of episode 8 of Canada's Drag Race, but be sure to come back on Wednesday for a profile and performance from our drag artist co-host of the week, Deena Dazeem.
Thank you for watching Quick Drag. If you enjoyed what you saw, hit the subscribe button over there, click on the social media links in the description below, and be sure to come back on Wednesday when we have a profile and performance from Deena Dazeem.